Hola, BTG Spanish community, joining you for another series. This time we're talking about false cognates. If you've been with us for the past few weeks, we have been talking about the grammar that is intertwined in some lyrics to Bad Bunny songs, and so now we are transitioning to another series and talking about false cognates. So really, the purpose of these multi-video series are to really expose you to some grammar pieces of Spanish and just kind of bring insight to that while you're learning. So today we are going to focus on a few false cognates. And if you're wondering what cognates are, don't worry. We will get to that in a second. But we're going to focus on five different cognates today that can really make or break a conversation that you have in Spanish. So if you're like me, it's so nice when a word in Spanish looks like a word in English, right? Because it's like an easy like transition. Oh, I know what this word is in English, and it kind of looks like that word in Spanish too. So automatically helps with the memorization piece. However, there are some words in Spanish that look like an English translation, but is not, and actually means something totally different that you probably don't want to say in context. And so we are going to dive into five different false cognates today, and then over the next couple weeks, we will learn a few every week. So I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to start with our first cognate. So once again, false cognates are fake friends. I like to call them fake friends because we love it, and it's a friend when we can just kind of quickly say this Spanish word looks like this English word, perfect. But those false cognates are like fake friends, Spanish words that look like one translation in English but mean something totally different. Okay, so here are just a few. We're going to go over five different false cognates and find out what they really mean. So this first one is embarazada. Now, this totally looks like the word embarrassed, but it does not mean embarrassed. And this is kind of the one that you hear about a lot because it's such a contrast to what it really means. And what it really means is pregnant. So I might say, mi hermana y yo estábamos embarazadas al mismo tiempo. My sister and I were pregnant at the same time. Okay, so not embarrassed, definitely pregnant. This one would be one that you'll definitely want to avoid getting mixed up. Our second one for today is asistir. Asistir looks like the word assist, but it actually means to attend. So our example sentence is ¿Cuál universidad te gustaría asistir? Which university would you like to attend? So definitely another one, maybe not as dramatic as the one that we saw for our first false cognate, but definitely still one to remember. And actually, asistir is used a lot for the word attend. So this is one that you'll want to definitely put in your commonly used words. Our next one is actual. Of course, actual totally looks like actual or real. Those that meaning, actual meaning real in English. However, it actually means current or present. So we might ask, someone in an interview might say, ¿A qué dedicas actualmente? To what are you working on, or what's your work currently, presently? Or you might see that on a job application. ¿A qué dedicas actualmente? Currently, not actually. Our next one is sopas. This one's a fun one. So sopa looks like soap and it sounds like soap, but it actually means soup. And yes, prefiero comer sopas en otoño. Love a good soup in the fall time. But sopa means soup, not soap. All right. Last but not least for today, realizar. Realizar looks like to realize, but what it actually means is to carry out or accomplish. So, mi primo realizó su sueño de terminar un triatlón. Okay, so my cousin accomplished or carried out his dream to finish a triathlon. So definitely looks like realize, and it might be tempting to use it like the word realize, but it does not mean that. It means to carry out or accomplish. Okay, so I hope that these are some great words for you to start using. Definitely some very useful words that we learned there, but know to use them in the right way. Thank you so much for joining me. Look forward to seeing you guys next week for another set of false cognates. Adios.